Hello students, in this video we will discuss next topic of chapter number 3, elements, compounds and mixtures, and this is separation of components of mixture. Now separation of components beta can be done on the basis of different principles. Okay, so for that we take advantage of a property of component that will be differ. Okay, it may be state, may be size, may be magnetic behavior, may be solubility, melting point, boiling point or adsorbability. So we know that mixture can be solid in solid, can be liquid in liquid, can be gas in gas. It can be solid in liquid or in gas, or it can be liquid in gas. So all these mixtures can be separated. Same way, smaller particles can be separated from large particles. This we will do on the basis of size. Then magnetic substance can be separated from non-magnetic substances, okay, on the basis of magnetic behavior. Soluble substance can be separated from insoluble on the basis of solubility. High melting solid can be separated from low melting solid on the basis of difference in melting point. High boiling liquid can be separated from low boiling point liquid on the basis of boiling point concept. Then strongly adsorbing substance can be separated from weakly adsorbing substance. Now beta, here we will study different methods by which we separate different mixtures. So first method is sieving. So sieving is but beta, sieving we will do on the basis of difference in the size of the particles or size of the components. Okay, so if one component will be smaller in size, second component will be large in size, for that case we will use a sieving method. So for this we use one thing that is called as the sieve. So we will put whole mixture in sieve and we will shake it, and we will see that smaller particles, they will pass through the small holes, okay, from sieve, and they will be collected separately, and particles having large size, they will remain on the sieve, so they will be separated. Next we have a magnetic separation. This method we use wherever we will have a mixture of magnetic and non-magnetic substances. So we know that magnetic substances, they will be attracted towards magnet, and non-magnetic substances, they will not attract towards magnet, so they will be separated. For example, mixture of like sugar and iron can be separated using magnet, okay, because iron will be attracted towards magnet. So this method is useful wherever we have mixture of magnetic and non-magnetic substances. Now here you can see we have a device that we use to separate iron or magnetic substances from non-magnetic substances in minerals. So here beta, we will take, you can see over here two wheels are there. They are made up of magnetic material. So here we have a belt wrapped around these two wheels. So here we will put mineral, and these wheels, they will move, and accordingly this belt will also move. Okay, so accordingly this mineral will come over here. Now when mineral will come over here, this wheel is made up of magnetic material. So what will happen? Magnetic substances, they will be attracted towards this wheel, while non-magnetic substances, they will fall down. Okay, so we will see over here that we will get two heaps. First heap will be of non-magnetic, and second heap that will be of a magnetic substance. So like this way we can separate magnetic and non-magnetic substances using magnetic separation method. Next we have sedimentation and decantation. Now this method is useful beta wherever we will have a component, one can be in solid state and second will be in liquid state, or both will be in liquid state. Okay, when solid will be heavier component than liquid, then only we use this method, when solid will be heavier than liquid. Okay, so example is a mixture of sand and water. So mixture of sand and water can be separated by sedimentation and decantation. So what we will do, we will take a mixture of sand and water. So then we will allow to stand this mixture for some time. After some time we will see that sand particles, they will settle down at the bottom and water will remain on the above. So what we will do, we will tilt this beaker little one, or we will collect all the amount of water in another beaker, and sand will remain settled down at the bottom. So here we will see beta, solid particles that will settle down at the bottom because they are heavier, so called as the sediment. Okay, so sand over here is called as sediment, and liquid above the sediment will be called as supernatant liquid. Okay, so here we have two important definitions, that is the solid settles down is called as the sediment in the process of sedimentation, and liquid above the sediment is called as the supernatant liquid. Now another example of this method is like a mixture of oil and water can be separated. So we know that when we add oil to water, then oil will remain on the surface of water. So we will see that because water is heavier than oil, okay, so it will take the lower space and oil will take the higher space. So when we tilt this beaker, we can collect this oil in another beaker and we will left with water only in that beaker. So like this way we can separate a mixture of oil and water. There is one disadvantage of this method, that is mixture of solid which will be lighter than liquid will not be separated by this method. For example, mixture of husk and water not separated by this method because husk is lighter than water, so it will remain on the surface of water, it will not settle down. Okay, so not useful over here. Next method is filtration. Now beta, filtration method is used wherever we will have a insoluble solid added in liquid. Okay, so insoluble solid can be separated from liquid using method filtration. So here example is like separation of sand from water. Sand can be separated from water using filtration method because we know that sand is insoluble in water. Sand will not dissolve in water. Okay, like salt will dissolve in water but sand will not dissolve in water. So in that case we use this method. In case of salt in water we will not use this method. Okay, because salt is soluble. So this method we use only for insoluble solid. Now for this what we use beta, see over here, we will first of all take one funnel, this is funnel, we will take one beaker, we will take one filter paper, glass rod. Okay, so first of all we will take a mixture of sand and water in a beaker. In this beaker they have taken, so we will make a cone of filter paper beta. How we make? We will take a round filter paper, we will fold it first, we will get this semicircle, then again we will fold it, we will get this type of structure, then we will open it and we will get a cone of filter paper. So that cone we will put in this funnel, and after that what we will do beta, we will put whole mixture of sand and water in this funnel, and we will see that water will be collected in this beaker whereas sand will remain on the filter paper. So now here we have again two definitions. One is of filtrate and second is of residue. Now filtrate is what? Whatever we will get in this beaker, whatever will pass through this filter paper and will come down, that will be called as filtrate. And whatever we will get on this filter paper, that will be called as residue. Okay, so the clear liquid that we will get in this beaker will be called as filtrate, and solid particles or solid component that we will get in filter paper will be called as residue. Next method is dissolution followed by evaporation or crystallization. Dissolution means we will prepare solution, evaporation means we will heat, and crystallization means after heating we will cool our mixture. Now beta, mixtures like mixture of salt or sugar in chalk or sawdust or mixture of sulfur or iron fillings can be separated by this method, because we know that now if we take mixture of salt and chalk, we know that salt is soluble in water while chalk is not soluble. Okay, so this mixture can be separated by this method. Same way sulfur and iron fillings, now we know that sulfur is soluble in carbon disulfide but iron fillings, they are not soluble in carbon disulfide. Okay, so we can separate these two things using carbon disulfide. Now beta, first of all what we have to do, for example if we wanna separate salt and chalk, what we will do, first of all we will mix salt and chalk in water, and we will see that salt will dissolve in water while chalk will not dissolve. Okay, salt it will hide uh, its molecules in water while chalk remains as it is. Now after this what we will do beta, we will filter this mixture now by this process. So using this setup we will filter, and we will see that beta all chalk particles that we will get on filter paper over here, and salt along with water we will get in this beaker. Okay, now chalk separated from salt, but now salt mixed with water. So salt we can separate from water. Now we know that by evaporation we will heat then salt and water, and we will see that water will go in atmosphere in the form of water vapors, and we left with only salt. Or beta what we do, that is we will take water and salt mixture and we will heat it, okay, to small extent. Then after heating, when only small amount of that mixture will left, then what we will do, we will cool. Okay, when small amount of salt and water mixture will left, that is called as the concentrated thing. Okay, so then concentrated thing we do what, that we cool, and after cooling we will see that crystals of salt they will develop. Now beta, sometime in order to increase the speed of crystallization, what we do, we add a one crystal of that compound in a mixture. Okay, and after that only we cool. Okay, this is called as seeding. Okay, so what we say beta, if crystallization process will be seeded, then its speed can be increased, we can say. How we prepare a concentrated solution of any compound? For that, first of all we will take compound, for example copper 2 sulfate, we will mix it in water, or we will dissolve it in water, and we will get a solution of copper 2 sulfate. Now beta, when we heat it, we will see that some amount of water will change into water vapor, and we will left with only a few amount of water. Okay, so that solution will be called as concentrated solution. And that concentrated solution, if we allow to cool, then what will happen, crystals of that compound will develop. Okay, so this whole process is called as crystallization. Next we have a distillation method. Now by distillation beta, we can separate a mixture of a solid and liquid. Mixture can be homogeneous or can be heterogeneous. Both mixtures we can separate by this process, that is the distillation. So for this beta, what we do, first of all, this is the whole apparatus that we use for this process, and this one you can see, this is flask. Okay, so in this flask, first of all we will take a mixture. For example, if we wanna separate a mixture of liquid and solid, like mixture of sand and water, so we will take that mixture inside this flask. Now what we will do beta, we will heat it, and we will see that water, they will form water vapors. Okay, so as soon as they will form water vapors, these water vapors they will come over here, so they will come on this side now. Okay, so beta, here we have taken one tube, you can see this is called as the Liebig condenser. So in this Liebig condenser we will take water. Okay, so there will be a, you can see that there is a place from where we add water, and there is place from where we will put that water out. Okay, so see, when water vapors they will come over here, okay, in this pipe. So now here we have a cold water. First of all, cold water. Now cold water, what will happen, these water vapors they will condense. Okay, so they will condense and they will form a water droplets. Okay, now this water that is present over here, that is we are entering from this pipe. Now that water will become hot, because that water will take heat of water vapors, so it will become hot. So we will remove that water from this side, again we add cold water from this side. So beta, inside this pipe, that is you can see inside, so inside this pipe there will be a formation of water droplets now. So that water droplets all we collect in the another flask over here. So this is called as a receiver. Okay, in receiver we will collect all water droplets. Now we talk about sand beta, we know that sand will not form vapors. Okay, so sand will remain in this flask. So what is distillation process beta? By distillation process we can separate a mixture of solid and liquid. mixture of solid and liquid, and how when we heat liquid will form vapors, and vapors we will condense and we will get liquid, and solid remain in the flask. Next method is fractional distillation, and this method is used to separate a mixture of two liquids, but two liquids should differ in their boiling points by 20 degrees Celsius. Means there should be a difference in boiling point more than 20 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius beta. So this setup we use for whole process, and a mixture of two liquids beta we take in this flask. Okay, so just consider that a mixture of two liquids we have taken in this flask. Now we will heat this mixture, and when we will heat it to small extent only, means when temperature will be less than what happen beta, low boiling liquid, or we say that liquid having low boiling point will form vapors. Okay, so that liquid will form vapors, and vapors they will come over here. Now what will happen beta, they will go in this Liebig condenser. So what will happen over here, from this side we will add cold water. So because of cold water, now vapors of that liquid they will condense and they will form a liquid droplets. Okay, and water that we are entering from this side, that is the cold water, will become hot, and we will remove from this side, and further again we will add more amount of water. Now droplets of that liquid they will come over here, and they will be collected in a receiver. So got my point, that is the liquid having low boiling point will be collected in this receiver. Now beta we will increase temperature, means we will increase heating, and what will happen now, liquid having more boiling point will also form vapors. Okay, so now here we have taken one tube, this is called as fractionating column. So vapors of liquid with more boiling point will go in this fractionating column along with vapors of low boiling point liquid, and vapors of liquid with low boiling point they will go in this tube and they will be condensed, while vapors of liquid with more boiling point they will condense and they will trickle back in this flask. And like this way we will get a liquid with more boiling point in this flask, and liquid with low boiling point we will get in this receiver. Now beta, liquids obtained by boiling a mixture at different temperatures also called as fractions. Okay, so that's why this method is called as fractional distillation. And few mixtures like mixture of benzene and toluene can be separated by this method. Mixture of ethyl alcohol and water can be separated. Mixture of petrol, diesel, kerosene and crude oil can be separated, because if we talk about these two compounds, we know that for benzene you can see over here boiling point is 80 degrees Celsius, and for toluene is 110 degrees Celsius. So there is a difference more than 20 degrees Celsius or equal to 20 degrees Celsius. So that's why we use this method for separation. This method is using separating funnel. This method is used to separate a mixture of two or more immiscible liquids. For example, mixture of oil and water. We know that oil is not soluble in water, or we say that mixture of oil and water is immiscible. So this type of mixture can be separated using separating funnel. This apparatus is called as separating funnel. Now we will take our mixture in this separating funnel. For example, mixture of oil and water. Now we know that water is heavier than oil, so water will now come down and oil will remain on the surface. So beta, here we have a stopcock. Now we will take one beaker over here and we will open this stopcock, and we will see that first of all water will come down and it will be collected in this beaker. Now when water will come over here, then we close this stopcock and we will take another beaker or another container, and in that container we will collect this oil. Sublimation. This method is used to separate a mixture of two substances if one substance can sublime while other substance not sublime. For example, mixture of salt and ammonium chloride, or a mixture of sand and camphor, or mixture of chalk and iodine. So beta, for this what we will do, we will take mixture in a china dish, this one. So in china dish we will take mixture. Now on that mixture we place funnel in inverted position. So this one is funnel, we place it in inverted position. Now on this funnel, that is on the opening of this funnel, we will place one test tube in inverted position. So beta, we will heat this mixture, and now you can see here we have opening in this funnel. So on this opening we will add few cotton in order to close this opening. So beta, when we will heat, what will happen? Now component of mixture that can sublime, now that component will come over here, and here we know that we have a cold surface of a funnel. So vapors, they will condense and they will form a solid. So some vapors, they will pass through this cotton and they will be collected in this test tube, while component of mixture that cannot sublime will remain in this china dish. Method is chromatography. This method is used to separate mixture of two or more solids from one another beta, provided they are soluble in same solvent. Okay, so solvent can be used like pure water can be used, then alcohol can be used, acetone can be used, or mixture of two or more can be used. Now this method works on the principle of adsorption beta. There is difference between absorption and adsorption that you have to note over here. Absorption is what? Absorption is a bulk phenomena. For example, when we add cotton to water, we know that cotton absorb water. So water will go inside also and on the surface of also. While beta, when we will see process only on the surface, okay, when process will be over the entire bulk, then that is called as the absorption. But when process will only on the surface, that is called as the adsorption. For example, if we take cotton, and on cotton if we add ink, we know that ink will only acquire a surface of cotton, it will not go deeper in the cotton. So we see that this is only a adsorption. Water will go inside cotton, but ink will not go inside cotton. Okay, it will remain on the surface of cotton. So this is adsorption only. So beta, here we will see two definitions. One is adsorbate and second is adsorbent. So underline, the substance that is adsorbed is called as adsorbate. For example, dye or ink, and the surface on which that substance will be adsorbed is called as adsorbent. For example, cotton will be adsorbent, and dye that we add on cotton will be called as adsorbate. Okay, now beta, in chromatography method we use mainly cellulose, silica or alumina as a adsorbent. Underline, cellulose, silica and alumina as a adsorbent. Now cellulose is conveniently used beta in the form of blotting paper or in the form of filter paper, and this type of chromatography is called as paper chromatography. What does it mean? It means cellulose or filter paper or blotting paper is used as a adsorbent, and whole process is called as paper chromatography, because we know that filter paper is nothing but a type of paper, blotting paper is also a type of paper. So we are using adsorbent over here, that is a type of paper only, so that's why it's a paper chromatography. We will study how we separate mixture using this method. For that, first of all, we have to take a long strip of chromatographic paper or a good quality filter paper. Now beta, we will take a mixture, that is for example mixture of green ink and blue ink we wanna separate. So what we will do beta, this is a filter paper or chromatographic paper that we will take, and we will take a distance of 1 centimeter beta. At a distance of 1 centimeter from one end, we will now fall here 1 drop of mixture. Okay, so 1 drop of mixture, that is the mixture of blue ink and green ink, we will fall at 1 centimeter. Now beta, in one beaker we will take solvent. Now one end of this chromatographic paper we will dip in this solvent, and we will allow it to stand for some time. Now after some time beta, we will see that there will be a formation of two lines. One line will be of green colored and one will be of blue colored. So this is of a green ink and this is of a blue ink. Now beta, this array of colors is called as what? This is called as chromatogram. So see definition, the array of colors on a chromatographic paper is called as chromatogram. Now in chromatography method, we have one phase will be stationary and second will be mobile phase beta. Stationary means that will not move and mobile means it will move. Now we see over here, if we talk about this chromatographic paper or this filter paper, this is what? This is a stationary phase because this paper is not moving at all. Only mixture over here, that is ink, is moving, or we know that this solvent is moving. Okay, you will see that solvent will go inside this chromatographic paper. So we see over here beta, adsorbent is called as stationary phase, and adsorbent means that chromatographic paper, and thing that move, that is the solvent and the mixture, is called as the mobile phase. Got my point? That is the mixture of two, we say that two things is called as mobile phase, and solvent that we use is called as the mobile phase. Now beta, we have different techniques also of chromatography, like column chromatography. Another we have like liquid gas chromatography called as GLC, and high proficiency liquid chromatography called as HPLC. Now we study separation of a few mixtures. Mixture of sand and water can be separated by filtration or can be separated by distillation. Mixture of salt and water means salt solution can be separated by distillation or can be separated by evaporation. Salt and sand can be separated by filtration, and filtration will be followed by evaporation. Now mixture of sugar and chalk will be separated by filtration followed by evaporation. When we filter, we will get chalk on filter paper and sugar we will get in beaker, that is the filtrate. Now we heat sugar and water. What we will get? We will get water vapors and we left with only sugar in the beaker. Then mixture of iron fillings and sawdust. Iron fillings, we know that magnetic substance, so it will be attracted towards magnet. So we use magnetic separation method. Mixture of iron filling and sulfur. Iron fillings, they are attracted towards magnet. So again we use magnetic separation method, or we use another method like dissolution followed by evaporation or crystallization. Mixture of carbon and sulfur beta. We know that sulfur is soluble in carbon disulfide while carbon is not soluble. Okay, so for that we use a method, any method that will be on the basis of solubility. Now solubility, that is we can use dissolution followed by evaporation. A mixture of water and oil can be separated with the help of a separating funnel. Next, mixture of benzene and toluene. Now benzene having different boiling point, toluene having different boiling point. Difference between the boiling points of two compounds is approximately 20 degrees Celsius. So we use fractional distillation method. Mixture of ink can be separated by paper chromatography. Mixture of salt and sand and sulfur mixture. Okay, now we know that salt and sand can be separated from one another by filtration. So here what we will see beta, first of all we will see that salt we know soluble in water, sand not soluble in water, sulfur not soluble in water, but sulfur is soluble in carbon disulfide, sand and salt not soluble in carbon disulfide. So first of all we will put this mixture in carbon disulfide and we will see that this sulfur will go in carbon disulfide, or it will dissolve in carbon disulfide. So after that we will beta filter this, we will get salt and sand on filter paper, and this we will get as a filtrate. We will heat it and carbon disulfide will go in atmosphere and we will left only with sulfur. Now salt and sand can be separated from one another. We know that by process of filtration followed by evaporation. Next we study how we separate mixture of carbon, sulfur and niter. Carbon will dissolve in carbon disulfide. So we will mix it in carbon disulfide. It will go in solution. So we will filter. We will get carbon and niter on filter paper and sulfur in solution. So we will heat that solution. We get sulfur from that solution. Now mixture of carbon and niter we separate using water. So we add this mixture in water and niter it will dissolve in water, and niter we separate from carbon by again filtration process. Now difference between mixture and compound beta. Mixture is a impure substance, compound is a pure substance. In mixture, components can be present in any proportion, but in compound they will be present in fixed proportion. In mixture, components they show their individual properties, but in compound constituent elements they will not show their individual properties. In mixture beta, components can be separated by physical methods. All methods we have done. And in compound, components can be separated by chemical methods only, not by physical methods. So with this chapter is finished.